Hi, I'm Devon Thompson, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
What's up, guys? Rob here, Front Row Live Entertainment. I'm hanging out here with Devon Thompson, and I'm super excited to be talking to you. I just got a taste of your voice, your sound, your music by listening to Skin, and I'm kind of obsessed.
Oh my God.
You've got,
Thank you.
like, listening to the EP the first time, I felt like it was nostalgic. I felt like I've been listening to you forever.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
That's an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
Let's dive in and talk about Skin and like that creative process. Like, what really kickstarted this initial process for the EP for you?
Well, I had made an EP once before in 2020. That was during, and it was just me playing all my instruments, producing all my stuff. So it was very different. And then this is a collection of songs over, Skin is a collection of songs over like a year and a half or so, a year and a half. And all the songs came together. So I didn't think about making an EP. I was just thinking about dropping singles, but like, you know what I mean? But I think people really liked the EP concept. I'm so happy I did it. And it came together so well because all the songs all have to do with each other and with me as a person, my artist growth over the past 2 years. Yeah.
That's great. And that's great that you think about that as far as like, let's not do the singles, let's do the EP.
Yeah.
Just because, there was a time where I did enjoy getting a single out before a record or something like that. But then the issue I was having was that like 8 out of the 10 songs were released and then the album was released.
Okay, that's the problem. That's the problem. And I felt like that with the EP. I was like, oh, we'll do 4 songs. I'm like, absolutely not. We have to put 2 new songs on there. Because if we don't, I don't want, like, everyone's like, okay, cool, it's a collection of work now, but like I already know it.
Yeah,
so
we've already heard it.
I think that a good formula for an album is 3 singles, 2 singles and then an album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think so.
Agreed. So then it's not just 2 new songs.
No,
on the record.
That's something I'm still not like great about because I'm like, oh, I wish I had more songs, but it's an EP, so it's okay.
But it's incredible body of work that you've created.
Thank you.
And I want to talk about, like, first of all, you mentioned the first EP, the first music that you did, you were doing everything, the music,
all
the
of
instrumentation, the producing. How do you kind of tackle all of those different hats and still are able to give 100% on each kind of
facet
that you're doing?
Well, on the first one?
Yeah.
Well, the first one was really, really simple because I wasn't making content at the time on social media. I really wasn't promoting myself
just
like that.
Focused on the music.
Just music. So that EP, I actually got a boost from that, from Split Ends, which is like my #1 song on there. It's also like all the other songs are like, they're very, they're very atmospheric and they're very cinematic. I really wanted to make music for movies. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was geared towards. So I wasn't focusing on social media and I really just put out something that was going to work, something that was cool. Yeah. And then someone I knew asked if they could use it for a Thrasher video, an Escape video.
Wow.
And it was put in the video with a bunch of really famous skaters. And I think a good amount of people found my music that way. I wish I had more opportunities like that because that's exactly the kind of crowd I want my music to be in front of. So there was really no social media. I did not promote that. Like, I just put it out. And it got, like, it's not one of my most popular songs right now because my other songs have taken precedent,
But still, you did it on your own.
I wasn't focused on social media. Yeah. I was making, like, music videos with a VX 1000.
Oh, that was my first camera.
I was making,
That was my first. I started skateboarding. That's how I started filming.
Yeah, I got one because one of my friends had one. And he was a skater who filmed my music videos. Yeah. And it broke immediately.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm sending this shit back. I can't. My dad was like, do not get that camera. I was like, why? It's so vintage. It's so cute. No. You have to know about cameras a lot.
I think I still have mine, actually. It's broken, but I think I still have it.
Yes, they break really easy. But it was so different than putting out an EP 4 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
very different.
As you move into this new EP, like, obviously you had the experience of doing it yourself.
Yeah.
You're bringing new people on this EP. You have a collaboration, like songwriting collaborations. You have a producer as well.
Yeah.
How was that process for you initially? Was it easy to bring people in, or did you have a hard time letting people into your space, into your project?
I didn't have a hard time. No, I think the more the merrier, but quality is very important over quantity. When you see people who have 10 songwriters on one song, that's cool. You know, I've never had more than 2 songwriters or 3 songwriters on a song. And a lot of the times I think that artists have very little say in what happens in the song, because really, like, not everyone can write music.
Yeah.
It is very hard to write music. You have to understand so much.
Right. That, and I feel like everything's been talked about, so you have to be even more creative today.
So that's a really good point that I have always tried to make, because everything's so boring to me.
Yeah.
Everything's so boring. All I read and all I think about is stuff that escapes reality, because everything is either boring or really bleak.
Yeah.
And
detail.
Yeah. So I actually, that's why I got into with my co-writer, I got into the spirit of writing in fantasy and in fairy tale and in what ifs and in like hypotheticals and in otherworldly things.
Yeah.
Because some of the best songs are about things you don't even understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I really adapted that and have been writing way less about myself. You know what I mean? So I think that I think a lot of people feel that way. So that's what I started doing.
Yeah. I feel like it's less pressure too. Like, you don't always want to put out what's your personal life or what's going on in your life.
I don't think I really have put something so personal, detail by detail.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever have, because I don't want someone to know it's about them.
Right.
I really don't.
Well, that, and I feel like if I was an artist, at least, like, I feel like I still want to have something to myself. Like, I don't want to like put everything out there.
I don't need to tell everybody
Yeah.
all about me all the time. I'm very open about me and about my feelings, about my personality, and about like my struggles and everything like that. So I feel like I do enough of it on social media.
Yeah.
Really do. Yeah.
Now, at the same sense, like, you brought in James as in the production. How was that collaboration between the two of you? How did he allow you to be comfortable during this process, but at the same time, like, allow you to step out of that comfort zone?
Well, it's funny because like I was 19 at the time. I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. Just kidding. Allergies. Just kidding. James was. We have a very big age gap, so like. I at first was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? And he was like, I'm not talking to this 19-year-old girl.
Yeah.
This is weird. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work with it. I don't want to work with a kid. We met and I was like, okay, this could work. So
just like that.
It was a mood. It was a vibe thing. So to put it simply, we have the same deranged and unhinged thinking about things. And I think that it wouldn't work. But when I'm explaining to people what my songs are about, they're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I swear there's nothing wrong with me. It's just like,
it's just creativity.
Yeah. So we write about a lot of things that like the really dark things, and some of the things that aren't as dark either. And a lot of the songwriting, like, we agree on a lot of music, a lot of new music. That's a big thing. We agree on a lot of the same new music that we enjoy, and also old music that we enjoy.
Right.
So I think that there's just a lot of compatibility there. And I think that it's great to, one thing I love about it is bringing a different generation and a new generation and combining them in songwriting. I think that's very important. So
yeah, it's the best of both worlds, and then you create something even fresher.
Yeah.
In that process, which is awesome.
It is, and it definitely is. And I'm like, I'm working on really like leveling up everything, like my sound, my production, all that. And like, I feel like it just takes time to figure out what you want.
Yeah. Now talk to me about your voice, because your vocals are incredible.
Oh, thank you.
You have so many different ranges in your tone, and
I do.
Just the way that you just sing. Every single track is different.
Yeah.
Your cadence is different. Talk to me a little bit about that, like kind of discovering your sound and learning how to work with your voice when you're creating this music.
Yeah, well, big thing. We have so many cookie cutter singers and songwriters in general, and I think that people are tired of that. I'm tired of it specifically, and I think a lot of other people are as well.
Right.
So when you have I have inspirations for singing, like I honestly, the thing is that I never really saw myself as a singer. I really have always seen
Wow.
myself as a songwriter. So
Damn.
that's crazy. Everyone's like, your voice, your voice. I'm like,
Damn, because
is it
that was
really
the
that
first.
good?
Oh my
Like, oh my
gosh! Have you
God.
heard? Have you listened to Skin?
I have. And so I made it a mission. We don't use any auto. We do never use auto tune. We don't
Wow.
use Melodyne. Like, that's my voice. I do that on purpose. I do it so that if you listen to the tracks, it's not perfect. My vocals
Yeah.
are not perfect.
But that's the best part.
But that's the best part. Because I think that when we have a standard of perfection and that's what we need to follow, what we think we need to follow, I think it ruins everything.
Right.
So I put out there something that I feel is real and authentic, because I don't want to put anything else out there that's
Right.
not. And I don't think I'm ever going to change that.
Good.
So I think that, like, singers, like, I love Kate Bush's voice. I think it's so cool and it's so weird and she's so popular and, like, such a quintessential artist. And I think that getting to explore, if you have a vocal talent, use it.
Yeah.
I've always shied away from that, by the way.
That's
like,
so wild. I can't imagine you not singing.
My first EP, I hated my voice growing up. I hated it. I hated how it sounded. I thought it was so weird. I always tried to sing lower or in a softer register so that it didn't sound annoying. And now I've found that it just takes maturing. It takes getting older to like it. I just didn't have a voice that I liked when I grew up, and now I actually like it. And I'm making it a mission now to use my voice with what I know it can do, what I do live.
Right.
Like, you don't really know until you see me live. It's like really different than even what you've heard. Actually, that's not true, because Soft Like Water is pretty, like, you can hear my vocal range. But like on Straight Jacket, I sing in my higher, like in my throaty register. I'm not pulling back. I'm not pulling away from it.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm just gonna use my voice now.
Yeah. Please.
Which I have not done before. I haven't done that before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I when I started working with James, I think that's when we started to really, and I still hated my voice, and now I don't really hate it as much anymore. I don't know. It's just like a thing.
But I love that you're learning to accept it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, not using anything else to add on to your voice when you're creating.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it sucks, but it's like, I hate when I go to like, I love an album. I go to a show and it's like, I prefer listening to the album.
That like happens all the time. I was just talking to someone about that. I was like, guys, should we, like, I've been so against using any tracks live or pre-recordings, and my songs don't sound the same live. They're very different, and it's kind of on purpose. Like, I strip all of it down and it's just 3 instruments. It's just guitar, bass, drums, vocals. So I'm on lead guitar and vocals, bass, drums. And it's so raw for a reason.
Yeah, that's the best part.
And people who know of the songs are like, doesn't sound like the song, but oh my God, it's like so much better.
Yeah.
I need a live version.
Yes.
I've got that so many times. And I think it's really cool. I think that is really special to have heard. So I think if the problem is when artists do have tracks and pre-recordings, they try to make it sound like the original and they just can't. I don't want to call out one of my favorite bands, but they butcher every performance. It makes me so sad, because I've seen them twice and every time it's like knife to the heart. They're so bad. They're so bad live. I don't want to say it because I don't want them to hate me. I don't know if they'll ever see this.
You can tell me off camera, because now I'm curious.
They just cannot play at all. Like, it's so sad.
That's the heartbreaking part,
They can't play. I'm like, how have they not fired this guitar player? How have they not fired him already? It's like, literally, like, they're playing to a metronome. They can't even play to a metronome.
Horrible.
How do you have a band doing that?
I can't imagine what it was like being the producer in that session.
Oh, my producer was a producer in their session.
Oh my God.
And he was like, it was just as bad as you think it is.
Oh
and
my God.
literally, he won't even watch them when I want to watch them at, like, a festival. And I'm like, oh, I want to watch them. I end up leaving. It's so bad. That's
so
painful. I make sure I don't do that with my music and with my performances.
That's painful.
It's painful.
I'm glad you're sticking true to yourself, and I'm glad you're, like, owning up to that voice and letting us get to listen and experience that voice.
I'm gonna really work on that this year. I'm gonna, like, really put it out.
Please.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Straight Jacket, since you kind of mentioned that one. You collaborated with Nick from Sunflower Bean on that one for the writing process. What was that collaboration like? Did you guys initially kick it off when you guys started working together in the studio, or did it take some time before you guys got to, like, actually feel comfortable with each other?
Well, Nick and I got together in New York when I was over there, and we wrote, like, 4 songs in, like, 3 days. And we just, like, were spitballing ideas, but I
Mm.
gave him the idea of it. It was originally, it was called Lovesick. That song has had 5 different lives. It's
Damn.
been around since 2021. If I showed you what it sounded like the first time, you'd be like, this is not the same
It's a pop song.
It's a pop song now.
Yeah.
It was a grungy whole song before.
Wow.
And then I changed it into something that I mixed 2 things that I really love, which is like art pop or anti-pop and like a gritty like alternative rock.
Mm.
And it's had so many lives. I showed him one of them, one of the lives, and he was like, okay, let's work on it. One thing notably that like Nick had added was that synth line.
Mhm.
Dun, dun, dun. Like that's my favorite thing ever. He added that into when we had a chorus, and I was like, that is so good. I had never used any synths.
Really?
None in my music. None until that moment. And I was
Damn.
like, I'm gonna add them now.
And it
so good.
adds such a great vibe to the track.
It's so good. I completely changed my perspective about my music after that. I was like all about only like straight rock, like hardcore, like
Yeah.
that. And then after that, I was like, no, this is so cool.
Damn.
There's so many great things with
Nick
synths.
opened the door for you.
Nick opened the door. Nick, if you're watching this, thanks, buddy.
Since this one had, like you said, 5 different lives, would you say this was the most challenging song on the EP, or did you have another one that you felt like really made it difficult to either finalize or release?
This one was a little bit of an asshole. Yeah, it was. We have certain songs that really kick and scream.
Yeah.
Like that really are just not nice when we're writing them. Some songs are easy. Soft Like Water, easy. I Love You But It Hurts Like Hell, so easy.
I think that might be my favorite on the EP.
It's my most popular song.
Yeah.
It happened in 20 minutes.
Jesus.
We wrote the, like literally someone comes up with a bass line and we're in a practice room and someone, I'm like, oh, here's the melody. I'm like, oh wait, here's the chorus. And I like play
Wow.
the chords and like literally happened in 20 minutes. It was so easy.
Damn.
Straight Jacket was not easy. It's taken 3.5 years to do that song.
But it was worth it.
It was so worth it. I love that song. I think
Yeah.
it's great. It definitely has its own thing.
It's an incredible opener too. Like I love that that's what you opened with. on this EP.
I agree. I really like that as the opener. I think it's a good fresh start from the other stuff I've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You give us this roller coaster with this EP.
Yeah.
Was this something that you knew was going to happen with this EP, or was this one of those things where like these songs just kind of like spoke and created themselves and you were just obviously like the vessel just releasing them?
Yeah, I did not plan any of this. I just basically sat there and like wrote songs and whatever came of it came of it. And
Yeah.
Skin came of it. And we were like, well, what are we going to name the EP? And so fun fact, I actually have a song called Skin that I thought for a long time was going to be one of my like first singles I was going to put out. And it's another one of those awful songs that literally has had 10 lives. Like it's been around since like 2019.
Damn.
And we rewrote it and remade it into like a very alt rocky, like grungy song. Before it was very like 80, it has an 80s guitar line, like very like alternative. And then I was like, we should name the EP Skin, because Skin, the song is not out yet and I
Yeah.
can change the name. And I was like, I think Skin is perfect because of the metaphor, honestly, that I came up with
Yeah.
about it. So they all fell together over a year, which is really cool, I think.
What is it about these songs that like no matter how horrible they might have been in the beginning or how difficult it was to finalize them, like what is it about them that you still believed in them? Because 10 different lives, 5 different lives, like that's something that other artists might be like, you know what, I'm wasting too much time on this.
Oh, I never feel like I'm wasting time on it. I've written so many songs. I have like 60 or 70 songs right now just like around floating, and you throw away a lot. You
Yeah.
throw away a lot and you're like, well, what was it for? It's everything has a purpose.
Yeah.
It's songwriting. You can't even like comprehend. It's just such a different skill to have. And you have to throw away stuff. And when the right songs come together like these, I was so proud. I was like, this is so cool. Like
Yeah.
this is very I like how broad it is. It's not like, usually when you listen to EPs or albums, all the songs are very like
It's like one
sonically
storyline,
similar.
yeah.
I didn't want that because I have so many different levels to
Yeah.
me. The EP is like me. It's just like who I am. It's like my personality. So that's why there's so many different like colors, honestly.
I can't imagine what an album would sound like.
Crazy. Crazy. Crazy.
I cannot
Crazy.
imagine what that would sound like. This EP is out now. You've been doing some shows on it. How different is it now that you are playing them live? Like, do you go back and think about like for future music? Like, do you think about like new ways to kind of record or
Oh
new ways
yeah.
to kind of hit those vocal tones or vocals in general?
Yeah, I think after releasing this EP and people telling me what their favorite song was, and like after trial and error and stuff, like, and I'm still very frustrated with like how music is supported
Yeah.
nowadays. Because I tell you, this album, this EP, whatever, all this music has literally been like blood, sweat, and sobbing.
Yeah.
Like, it is so hard to do this.
It's not
so
easy.
hard
We
to
don't
do
like
this.
fans don't get it. And
They
like,
don't get it.
unfortunately, the music industry doesn't get it anymore either.
Don't
'cause
get
it's all
it.
about money now.
It's all about money, and I'm not writing cookie cutter pop music,
Yeah.
so it's like not easy as well. But like, I've definitely found some fans from posting online, but like the songs really, like, they taught me,
Mhm.
and playing them live and changing them with my band
Right.
has taught me that people really want to hear my voice, like really want to hear it,
Yeah.
and want to hear it the way I've been using it live and like playing the songs. And I'm like, you know what, I gotta do that. Especially because when people say their favorite song is Love You But It Hurts Like Hell, like certain parts of that song, like the chorus, like I really had to push my voice to get that out there.
Mm.
And usually I would have hated doing that. But if that's your favorite song, like I gotta listen to the people.
Yeah.
You know, like I gotta, if they like that, I gotta do more of that.
Right.
You know, and I'm going to.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, since you kind of mentioned that, vocally, was this the song that challenged you the most, or was there another one?
Oh no, So Close is the hardest song to sing. It's sort of, actually, no, not So Close. It's vocally, it's very challenging because you have to slip in between 2 registers or 3 registers. Straight Jacket's the hardest song. It's the hardest song. I still have trouble singing it live. It is how it's sung, and the register you have to sit in is very hard not to go out of tune. And also to make it sound like, to make it's singing is really is a talent.
Yeah.
Vocal control is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
the lower you get, the harder it is to control.
yeah, like, and so it sits in a really interesting register.
Mhm.
But these songs and this EP and all this has inspired me to keep like making stuff that I want to make, which I didn't before. I was just doing what I thought everyone else wanted to hear. And
No.
I'm so tired of that.
You got to do you. You got to do you. So
Um,
I'm glad this EP was like more of a self-discovery for you.
Yeah, it was. It's so cool. I love it. I'm super happy with it. I think I love the artwork, and I love,
Yeah.
it's just very me.
Yeah.
It's very me. I'm very happy with it.
That's incredible. And then you're going to be performing these songs live on the road this fall. You're
Yes.
going on tour with Dead on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Talk to
yeah.
me about this tour, and what are you looking forward to on this run?
Well, very proud. This is my first ever tour, so baby's first tour. I have worked tirelessly for like hardcore, like 8 years doing this, and it's my first time ever getting asked to go on tour, and it was
Wow.
because of what I was doing and because I've been posting online and stuff like that. And I made friends with Dead on a Sunday, and he's like, well, I'm thinking of doing a West Coast tour. I was like, really? Is that so? He's like, yeah, you have a really mature, really awesome sound. I was like, thank you. That's very cool. And we're going to hit West Coast runs. We're going to do like Salt Lake City, Seattle, down all the way, all those cities, down to San Diego, Vegas, Albuquerque, all that jazz. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited because I have fans in those markets that have been waiting to see me. So I'm so excited to get out there and also just play. I've played in different states, but
not on a tour.
No. And I think that's going to be really cool. And I want the experience as well.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really great group of people as well. And I think it's going to be so cool. And no, I will not make any money. I will hemorrhage money. That is literally what this is and what touring is. It does not matter to me. It's not about the money.
Yeah.
I really don't care. Like, every cent that I get goes to my band. Like, I am a solo artist, so my band is compensated. So every cent that I make literally goes, like, if I make a merch sale, here you go, drummer, here you go, bass player, like, it goes all to them.
Right.
Yeah. It's like everything goes to them because they are the ones who make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're being loyal, and you are loyal to them, and those that are, helping you get to where you're at today.
It means so much to me.
I feel like outside of that, I feel like this tour is also going to be very impactful when it comes to the songwriting. I feel like it's going to open so many more doors. It's gonna,
I think so.
I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a new maybe era, new chapter
Oh my God, I hope
of
so.
Devon after? I don't know.
It is a fall tour in September.
So there you
I'm
go.
a fall girl.
There you go.
I am a spooky girl. So after that, it'll be October, and then that's when shit happens with
There
me.
you go.
So I think it could be really cool.
Everything's
Yeah.
aligning.
Yeah, everything's aligning. I wish that's how it's felt. I really want that to, but it is though.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and I'm so excited.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for letting me
Yeah.
come and chop it up with you about Skin.
course.
Incredible EP, incredible voice.
Thank you.
You guys be sure to check out Devon Thompson. Skin EP is out now. Thanks for watching here on Front Row Live.
Thank you.